Hello guys, it's Joffrey Noodle Legs here again. Sorry about the last entry of the video, which was the video not the video nasty, the video games. Sadly, the sound on the last part of the video was a miss. I think it's because it was two parts that I'd stuck together, and obviously some sort of file got modelled up. But anyway, what I'm going to do is just redo it, guys, just so, because I know a lot of people are interested in this. Anyway, this is my top 10 favourite horror video games. I'm into horror movies, but I love video games, especially horror games. I've loved them since when I had the PlayStation 1. I used to play Silent Hill and everything. Silent Hill are some of my favourite games, but I don't have any of them anymore, so they're not in this top 10, along with Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain. That was another favourite horror of mine. But again, they're back on the PS1 one. I don't have them anymore, and I don't have a PS1. I do have a PS4, PS5, PS3, so these are mostly around that. Now, if it was my son, Lemon Lord, doing them, he would have every horror game. He has every single console, from the Atari right through to PS5. He has them all. You name them all. Nintendo 64, GameCube, Mega Drive, Mega CD, everything, SNES, NES, everything. He has all of them. The only one I believe he hasn't got is the Game Gear, and he has multiple games. He collects them. That's his thing, right? I'm the same with horror movies, really. That's his thing. So here I have Resident Evil on like every machine it was made on. So but that's what he likes doing, and that's his thing. Right, I won't waste any more time. I'll get on with some honourable mentions. First one I'm going to bring up is the Evil Within 2. This is a great game. It's quite similar to the first Silent Hill game. It's a sort of a horror, sort of survival horror, where you go into different houses and each house has got like a little submission in there. It's quite a really good game. I really enjoyed Evil Within 2. Another honourable mention is from one of my favourite movies, and that's the Blair Witch. This is a good game. It's a first person sort of walking game through the woods of the Blair Witch. We've got a dog with you that helps to investigate, because you're looking for a lost boy in the woods. And you come across some creatures, and the creatures in it are the only disappointment of the game. Don't need to be in there. It's creepy enough as it is, but there we are. Another honourable mention is Tormented Souls. This is a brilliant game on the PS5. This is it's a sort of look back on retro game, and it's very similar to Silent Hill and the early Resident Evils. It plays like that sort of clunky gameplay, but it's got that charm, and it's fantastic. Really love Tormented Souls. If you own a PS4, PS5, or Xbox, I don't know if it's on Xbox, but if you own those consoles, you need to play this game. Another honourable mention is a game called Infliction. This is a really good game. It's a sort of ghost, sort of like a walking sort of sim game. It's similar to games like Layers of Fear, PT. It's those jump scare sort of game. Really, really good game. Honourable mention. Another honourable mention is a new game out this week called The Quarry. Highly recommend this game. It's made by Supermassive, and their games are they're really cool. They're story based, and they're pretty much your decisions shapes the story, really. So that's really, really cool. A couple more honourable mentions. Those Who Remain, made by Wired Games. Really, really cool game. It's a kind of, again, it's a little bit of a Silent Hill sort of game. The guy can't go in the dark. If he does, is his creatures that kill him, and it's got like sort of like he can go travel back and forth in time. It's a good little game. It's an indie game, but I was hooked when I played it. It's not a very long game, but it was really, really cool. Sullivan's here, by the way. Another honourable mention is one of people's favourite games, but it didn't make my top 10, and that's The Last of Us. Really, really cool game. It's they are making a remake of this for the PlayStation 5, which I'm quite looking forward to. I'm not really into remakes, but I'm quite looking forward to that. There is a Last of Us Part 2. I didn't like that as much as this one, mainly because they killed my favourite character off straight away, and I was thinking, well, that's it, that's ruined the game for me, thank you. So yeah, I didn't enjoy that one as much as I enjoyed this one. This is a classic game, Last of Us. So they're my honourable mentions. So now we're going to get to my top 10. Number 10 is another super massive game. It's a series of games called the Dark Anthology games. There are 3 of them at the moment. I believe they're making more. These are really, really cool games. Again, like the Quarry, it's like your decision making outcomes the story of the game. The first one is a Man of Medan, which is based on a ghost ship. The second one is Little Hope, which is my favourite, and that's like around sort of witchcraft. And number 3, the last one, was House of Ashes, which I believe is in Iraq, and you play as a group of soldiers. Again, they're all really, really good games, and you've got to try and get through the story without sort of killing people off, and I tend to kill everyone off. But that's how I like to play the game. I mean, I want to see the gory deaths, so why do I want to just make everyone survive? To me, it's not a horror game then, is it? But yeah, the idea is to get as many people as you can through the game without killing them, but sorry. Number 9, this is the Outlast series. There's 3 games on here. Outlast 2 is my favourite. It's based in like a village that's run by like this demonic cult. And they all believe in this sort of cult and demonic witchcraft, and they kill. It's horrible. It's like dead babies and stuff. They get these women and impregnate them, and they use the babies for rituals and stuff. It's a horrible story, but yeah, it's great. But yeah, it's a really good game. It's really eerie. The other 2 games are good as well, but the first one is based in like a mental asylum, but the second one I like best. Number 8 is another supermassive game. It's the last one on the list for supermassive, and that's Until Dawn. It's very similar to the Quarry. This is based in like a sort of snow cabin up in the hills, and these kids are up there, and there's these creatures up there, and it's like supposed to be like an 80s horror sort of slasher film, a bit like the Quarry. It's all based around that sort of style of game, and your decisions make the outcome. It is really good. I do enjoy it, and it is a really good game. And again, I tend to kill everyone off. I do try my best to make everyone live, but I just don't know how to. I don't know. They just always die in my game. But that's a good fun game. That's at number 8. Number 7, going back a little bit to the PS3, and we've got this is Dead Space. This is science fiction horror survival game based on a ghost spaceship. You're Isaac, the mechanic, and you create this tool which becomes your weapon, and you have to survive all these different creatures by blowing their limbs off and things and find a way out. But it's a really, really cool game. They are making a remake of this game as well, coming on the new consoles, which would be really cool. Right, that was number 7. Number 6 is Little Nightmares 2. I absolutely love this game. It's just one of my favourite games. It's a little indie game. Little Nightmares, the first one, is brilliant too, but I just really got attached to this one more because there's 2 characters in it. It's a beautiful shot game. It's a very quirky game, and it's a really bizarre game. It's like a 2D sort of puzzle game, but it's fantastic. Little Nightmares 2. If you've never played that, I would play that if I was you. So into my top 5. Number 5 is a remake, and this is Resident Evil 2. This is a remake of it that came out a couple of years back now, and Capcom have absolutely smashed this out of the window. Brilliant game. I love the original Resident Evil 2, but this absolutely smashed it. Absolutely brilliant. The control system was way better. The characters were great, and it's such a long game as well. And the fact is, when you finish it as Leon, you can then play it through, you know, and as the female, and then you can get like different weapons, and it's a fantastic game. Resident Evil 2, classic. Right, number 4, based on my favourite movie, is Alien Isolation. This is a fantastic game. A survival horror in space, all based around Alien. It's based after Alien and between Alien and Aliens. So it's that sort of storyline. It's fantastic. And it's supposed to be like Ripley's daughter. But there is a DLC where you can actually play with the original crew as well. Really good game, quite scary, lots of jump scares in it, and the aliens are awesome. They've really done a good job on the aliens. Right into the top 3. Number 3 is a modern game that came out last year, and that's Resident Evil 8, The Village. What an amazing game. This is fantastic. It's a first-person survival game, but it's shot beautifully, and the locations are fantastic. But if this was down to the best-looking horror game, this would be number 1. It's stunning. The characters are awesome. It's a really, really good story. There's a DLC coming out in October for this to extend the story, and I think they're also part of the DLC. You're going to be able to play this in as third-person perspective. So that's really, really cool. Such a good game. And it's not all just zombies. There's zombies in there. There's werewolves. There's vampires. It's fantastic. The Village. Highly recommend that game, guys. It's amazing. Number 2, another little sort of game that came out a good few years back now. And that's The Evil Within. This is the first one. Really like this. It's a little bit old school gaming. But there's some great creatures in it. Some great monsters. Absolutely fantastic. I do really like this game. It's sort of it's quite linear, but you've got lots of bosses to beat, and you go from one area to the next area of different bosses to beat. But there's a little story behind it, and that links into Evil Within 2. Really, really cool game. Highly recommend Evil Within. So my number 1 horror game. It's another remake, and it's Resident Evil, the first one. This is the Origins collection, which has 0 and the first one. The first one is just classic, isn't it? You've got Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine in the mansion. It's a fantastic game. Highly, highly recommend you picking up this on the PlayStation 4. They remade it really well, but they kept the clunky controls in it, but it works for this game. And it's just a classic horror game. So that is my top 10 horror games. What are yours? Please put them down below. Let me know what your horror games are. Have I missed any out that you like? Yeah, so I just want to do a little something different today for you video game lovers. I hope you enjoyed the little video. I love horror games. I also love sort of simulator games. I love simulator games, and I love some racing games. I'm not into sort of like first-person shooters too much and things like that. I'm most certainly not a Call of Duty fan and stuff. It's not my thing. But horror is, as you well know. Anyway, I hope you like this little video. Please give it a like. Look after yourselves, and I really hope I see you all soon.